Alright, welcome back to Rasteca TV. So this is where we're at right now. I've trimmed off these edges. This one, kind of to match that one. It kind of matches. And I still have to fit it into the other plastic piece to see if it fits alright. So now what I'm going to do is I already cut that off too. I'm going to try and work it to where they're the same way and then do the cut. What I noticed is because I got a thick wheel on my grinder, I'm going to have to score it and then come back and wiggle it out. It'll follow the line you cut. So we'll try staying close to this as possible with this. And of course, safety first. Always make sure you wear your safety goggles. Alright, so here we go. Pliers. Trianolax. See, I'm using a thick wheel. I had thinner ones, I just didn't bring them with me. I left them at work. Some thinner ones will give you a better score. And since it's copper, it makes it easier. Alright, so now since it's scored, we're going to try and... Okay, obviously you got to back it up. Trial and error here. These things really aren't that expensive. How much was this baby again?
$13.08.
$13.08, well I guess it is for this little piece of copper. So now you just take your time and kind of wiggle it. So since we're new to this, we don't know how to do that speed thing, but I guess you really don't need it. Now you notice we got a nice clean cut. You can come back and clean that off later. But the parts I already cut off. The other one. Voila. Okay, so now we use the pipe. Now we match. Come back and see what else we have to trim. How far we have to go with it. Apparently it's not that much. Alright, and what we'll do is we'll clean this off. Well, basically just this one, maybe, or not. We'll give it a dry run and see how it looks. Alright. Okay, so this is the way the original one fits. Alright. And fortunately, I don't think there's going to be much interference on this side, but it's flat. So I'm going to have to try and grind that little edge down. And I have to come back here a little bit more. So it will sit here. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, so after trying to use the hand grinder, I decided to bust out the old man, my bench grinder, and give me a nicer, smoother cut there. Got it to fit here. Now, the second modification is going to be to the terminal here, or whatever this thing is called. Because, let me slide it over, our holes don't match. I just realized that the older terminal, the screw here is back a little bit, just by a couple of millimeters. Not very mathematic wise, but so I won't be able to tell exactly how far it is. But that's all apparently we need to do now, is to kind of enlarge this real soft copper. Is to enlarge this hole just a little bit to get it to set. So now once I get my hole done, what I will do is I will, since this is all copper, I'll probably clean some of this off, get it in properly, and then maybe solder it together. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, so after a little bit of grinding on the old man, I got my edge far enough back to where I needed to. Ground this down because it was giving me trouble sitting. And again, the distance from here to here is a little bit longer than the original. So I just took my drill and kind of worked the drill on the bottom there just enough to give me room to go in. It's just a little snug, but it works. So gotta have to kind of like figure it out, work it in. And there it sits. It doesn't sit completely right, as you can see in there, because this is very thin right here, so it's very loose, and you got to be careful with that. And as long as your hole's there, aim to the nut that's in there, you should be all right. Once we put the tie down nut here, there, I guess is what it's called, then we can work with all the rest. So now we're gonna assemble all this and keep our fingers crossed. So you see, hopefully it works. Alright, so now before we do the installation, we're going to clean our post, which is almost mandatory. Even though it's a new battery, it always helps a little. Sometimes they come with a protective coating. This one was alright, but I felt like cleaning them anyways because the old battery was, the old terminal was really not making good contact, so the gap was starting to eat away at the lid here. Off as best as we can. Put our little indicators on there, and I lost one already, which is not a good thing. We eventually will find it. This is the adapter you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a spacer type thing. Alright. Oh, here we go. So first we'll do this back one. This is the more tricky one.
What size is this?
10 millimeter socket will work fine on all this.
What are you doing there?
Putting the screw into the hole where the nut is at. We're gonna tighten it. Hopefully we hit right on the threads. Another few seconds. And no. Alright, let me do battle with this and we'll be right back. Alright, to avoid all laziness, I was trying to leave the battery in and do this, but it seems easier if you take the battery out. Still seems to be a bit of a challenge trying to get the screw into the nut there. I think we got it. Just remove the extension of this. Alright, we'll get back to you.